I'm Will Carroll from Baseball Prospectus. Sometimes a dominating performance or season can hide major flaws in a pitcher's throwing mechanics. Eventually, these flaws will catch up, either in the form of injury or newfound struggles on the mound. We're going to take a look at some well-known hurlers whose mechanics can make you cringe and break down the flaws. As we take a look at bad mechanics, let's try to get away from that word bad. This is just some inefficiencies, some problems, some inconsistencies. Just because someone has so-called bad mechanics doesn't mean they can't be effective. Some of these guys are Cy Young quality pitchers. But what you have to remember is all those inefficiencies, all the mechanical issues they have are taking away from just how good they could be. Now, Felix Hernandez came into the league last year with much of the type of hype we saw with Daisuke Matsuzaka. But as you see him fall almost out of the frame, you see that control is not something he has yet. All that energy that he could be bringing towards the plate is falling off towards first base. It's certainly not ideal and something that's going to really stress his elbow. Compare this to Greg Maddux as he comes through completely under control. No wasted energy there. For Felix Hernandez, all that wasted energy is either going to have to be absorbed by his ligaments and tendons, or he's just going to be inefficient, causing him more and more pitches and more workload. And for a young guy, you never want to see that. Here's Francisco Liriano, a guy who has very similar mechanics, but not quite the same as Johan Santana. The difference, one is going to be pitching for a Cy Young, one will spend the year rehabbing from Tommy John. You see this whip as he comes through, and that's the pitch that did the damage. You can see the elbow just whipping through. All that stress is coming right into the ligaments and tendons. They just couldn't hold up. You see that external rotation and the whip through, this very strong whip, as opposed to Johan Santana, who, as we see here in slow motion, a much smoother delivery. They're not significantly different, but it's just enough. And unfortunately, Liriano will spend 2007 on the sidelines. Bartolo Colon is another guy who's had some arm problems, in large part because of inconsistent mechanics. Colon obviously has some issues with balance and control. He actually has something of a problem bringing all that energy that he has in that big body around and actually spins out of it on a lot of occasions. That puts a lot of stress on his back as well. You see him being very offline, the elbow position, his elbow below the level of the shoulder, and that's put a lot of stress on his shoulder. It's one of the reasons that his rotator cuff gave way, and he's still fighting to come through that. As we look at Kerry Wood throwing across his body, you can see him step off to the third base side, then have to come all the way around on his body. The follow-through, difficult to control there. That's one of the reasons he's had so many elbow and shoulder problems, putting a ton of pressure on the rotator cuff. 2 years ago, that gave way. All those injury problems go straight back to the fact that he has not fixed that. His follow-through is very short, puts all the pressure on his shoulder. With Trevor Hoffman, on the other hand, you can see him come all the way around. It's a very easy delivery. The delivery takes the stress, not his shoulder. Rich Harden is a guy who's struggled with arm problems despite the fact that he's one of the most effective pitchers around when he's healthy. One of the things you'll see is what we call short arming. His follow-through is very short, kind of whips back, and in many cases, he actually stops it out there. You see the arm doesn't come all the way back as you've seen on someone like Trevor Hoffman. He's just so strong that his answer to everything is to just muscle up. And right there you see that short follow-through is one of the things that's really costing him some trouble.